Hey guys, welcome to my winter wonderland. As you can see, we got snow. How long ago was it now? 5 days, I think. We got 14 inches. And I was super excited because I love snow, but it was that wet, heavy snow that just breaks things. So it ended up taking out the power of the majority of my county. Myself included. So we didn't have power for 4 days. It just came back on yesterday. Luckily, my husband thrives in these sorts of situations. He would do so well in the end of the world. So we had our generator going, plenty of gas to run that, and so we were still able to get water for our well and to flush our toilets because there's a lot of people that did not have the ability to do that for several days. So yeah, we managed okay, but I am very glad that the power is back on now. We also got another, I don't know, 2 to 3 inches last night. I was a bit worried the power was going to go back out last night, but it didn't. So here we are. This is what it looks like right now. I have a lot of down trees all over the place. So we're going to be busy working on that. But since it's so beautiful out, I thought I would film a video. This, according to the title, is my 5-star fiction books that I read in 2021. I just went back through Google and wrote down all the books that I loved from last year. And these are just fiction. I think I might do another video for nonfiction. But let's just go ahead and get into this because I don't know how many books do I have. I don't know, maybe about 10. So the first one I wrote down is A Refuge Assured by Jocelyn Green. That was a historical Christian fiction book. It started out in Paris about a lace maker during the French Revolution War, and she had to escape France and she made it to America. And then there's this whole other side story dealing with the little prince of France and what happened to him. This book was so good. Jocelyn Green's writing is amazing, excellent. I learned a lot. I love historical fiction books that make me want to research and just start Googling things. So I remember researching a lot about the French Revolution while I was reading this. Really liked it. If you like historical fiction, totally recommend this book. Next one, well, it's two books, a part of a trilogy. I haven't read the third book yet. I'm saving that for Easter time. But that is The Well and the Tomb by Stephanie Lansom. These are biblical fiction books, and Stephanie Lansom is one of my all-time favorite Christian fiction writers. The Well has to do with the woman at the well and her story, and the tomb is about Martha. I think it was Martha, Mary or Martha, Lazarus's sister, one of the sisters, but it's really like that whole family. Both of these books I've sobbed at the end of, and she does this really cool thing where she has you believing that one of the main characters of the book is like a kind of a nobody, and then you find out at the end who that person really is in the Bible and who they like kind of turn into from the Bible. It's amazing. I don't want to give anything away because I was shocked in both of these books. But yeah, I can't wait to read the next book. It's called The Thief. It's going to be so good. The next 5-star read was This Present Darkness by Frank Peretti. This is supernatural, spiritual warfare, contemporary Christian fiction. It was a chunker, very good, and it's the first book in a duology. I love the second book too, but I think I gave that one like 4.5 stars. I like the first book a little more just because of the characters and the storyline. But I sure learned a lot from this book, and it really put into perspective how we are kind of, surrounded by the unseen world. Demons and angels and how they play into our daily lives. So yeah, very famous Christian book, and I loved it. The next one is another very famous Christian book. That was the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. This is one that I need to reread every year. I listened to this one this year, and I definitely want to read it in physical form so I can just underline and highlight like almost every passage because it's that good. But this one also is about spiritual warfare, and it's letters between an uncle and a nephew, and the uncle is trying to teach the nephew how to be a better demon. Basically, the nephew is connected to a man who is a new Christian, and the man is trying to be a good Christian, and the demon is trying to derail him. And so he's sending letters to his uncle giving him updates, and the uncle is giving him advice. Fantastic. I can't wait to reread that one. The next one is The Midnight School by Suzanne Woods Fisher. This is historical Christian fiction, and this was about people who live in the mountains in Kentucky. They didn't know how to read. They grew up very poor, and there was a woman who hired, I want to say it was her niece, to come and travel around on these mountain roads and start a school up there and teach the people on the mountain how to read, because the people were getting swindled by a logging company, and just swindled in general because they didn't understand like documents they would sign and things like that. This book put so much into perspective for me. I also grew up quite poor, not that poor, but I definitely understood a lot of the feelings and things that were going on in that book, and I really related. So yeah, historical fiction, excellent read. The next one is another historical Christian fiction book called Flights of Fancy by Jen Turano. This is a part of the American Heiress trilogy, and it is my favorite one of the three. This one was about an heiress who escapes her life because she's going to be forced to marry someone she doesn't want to marry, and she ends up on a farm, and she pretends to be a poor maid, cook, something like that, house worker, for a man who actually does have quite a bit of money. And this book is one of the funniest books I've ever read in my life. The characters are so hilarious. I literally was laughing out loud, and my husband would look at me like, what the heck? Yeah, so that's all I really have to say about this one. Again, historical Christian fiction, super funny. The next one is In a Far Off Land, again by Stephanie Lansom, who wrote The Well and the Tomb. This one was set in 1920s during the Depression era, and it's about a girl who her family is going to lose their farm. I think she was from Kansas or somewhere like that, and so she runs away and makes it to Hollywood to try to be an actress so she can make money and take care of her family. And it's about the horrible things that happen to her while she's in Hollywood, the situations she gets herself into, and then her redemption at the end. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was so faith-filled and beautiful. Again, this is one where I was crying at the end. The next one I want to talk about is A Voice in the Wind by Francine Rivers. This one might be my favorite biblical. I think you would consider this biblical fiction or Christian fiction. I don't know where the cutoff date is for historical and biblical, but man, this one really did so much to help me figure out what it means to live like a Christian, what that looks like in your day-to-day actions. It goes beyond just, believing in Jesus and praying and having a relationship with God. It's the little things that you do with the people in your life, even the bad people, how you handle those situations and how you treat people that are in your life. It was just so incredibly eye-opening, so well written. It's about a Jewish slave who gets captured and taken to Rome, and she has to work for a really horrible person, And yeah, I don't want to give any more away, but it's that is the storyline, and it's just amazing. I'm on book 2 right now, and I think I like book 2 even more than book 1, and I don't know how that's even possible, but it's so good. Okay, it looks like the sun is behind the clouds right now, and I don't know how to deal with that on my camera, so we're just gonna go with it. I hope the sun comes back out. I'm almost done. The next one is Firefly Diaries by C.C. Warrens. This is contemporary Christian fiction, thriller, suspense, mystery. I'm not really sure how you would categorize this. So if you like Jamie Jo Wright's books, I would definitely pick up this book. There was a book that I read by Jamie Jo Wright, and I cannot think of which one it was. But this book reminded me a lot of that one, but I preferred this one. This one is about a woman who loses her son in an accident. Her husband divorces her. She is an author, so she can live anywhere. So she decides to just pick up and move kind of in the middle of nowhere to a brand new place where nobody knows her, and she can just start over fresh. She buys this incredibly rundown house that doesn't have electricity, doesn't have water, and she's starting from the ground up. Weird things start happening at the house, and there is a cop that comes and helps her, and they develop a relationship. And then there's this sideline with this diary, and this girl who the girl who bought the house is trying to figure out what's going on with this diary. There's a lot of pieces to this story. It's so incredibly fast paced. You'll be on the edge of your seat the whole time you're reading it. You have to read it. If you read any of these books, read this one, please. The last book I have on my list was a big surprise for me because I'm not really a fantasy reader. I do love fantasy movies, but I don't really read fantasy books. And that is The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien. That is book 2 in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. That book blew me away. I was so into that journey that was happening through book 2. I loved the storyline between Frodo and Sam, and the separate storyline with Merry and Pippin. And the Ents really just did it for me. The tree people were like top notch. So yeah, that was my favorite of those books, and I just kind of flew through that. So yeah, that is all of my 5-star reads. I think it's all my 5-star reads. I don't think I missed anything for 2021. Like I said, I'll try to do another video for my nonfiction reads. And yeah, I hope you guys had a great 2021. You have a great 2022. And I will see y'all soon. Bye.